Welcome to Big Flick Energy. We were recently treated to a gore fest in Cocaine Bear. A movie, as soon as I heard about it a couple of months ago, got me really excited. It's such an outlandish idea for a movie, but when I found out it was based on a true story, it intrigued me. Now, it's based on a true story, but it isn't fully a true story. The real story goes as there was a bear that once consumed loads of cocaine, where for a 15-minute period before it died of overdose, it was probably the most dangerous creature on Earth and the apex predator of the world. The movie exaggerates that by giving this bear time to show itself as that apex predator. Because of this movie and the interest it sparked, we recently heard of other similar films being made, like Attack of the Meth Gator, which is being made by the same team behind Sharknado, while a cocaine shark movie has sparked the interest of Elizabeth Banks, director of Cocaine Bear, after a recent story of cocaine spilled in the ocean broke the internet. Because of the hype of films like this, I decided to make a video on a couple of ideas I have based on true stories similar to Cocaine Bear, so here we go. First off, we have the Christmas Squirrel. Christmas 2021 seemed to be the worst time of the year for a certain critter in the town of Buckley, Wales. A gray squirrel took to attacking several residents, including seniors and children. It even started going after cats and dogs. The attacks got so bad that some people warned their friends and family on Facebook to stay inside as the animal was lurking outside, just waiting for somebody to attack. Buckley resident Corinne Elizabeth Reynolds bought a trap and caught the squirrel in her garden. By then, the animal had attacked 18 people in the space of only 48 hours, with some of them needing tetanus shots. It's no mystery how a film like this coming out around Christmas time could be a lot of fun. How would it be exaggerated? Instead of 18 people being attacked, what if it actually killed some of them? Another way is to give motivation of why this squirrel that would be fed by some members of the town would turn on them, which could be in this film due to somebody moving out of town and them never leaving food anymore, so it gets angry. Or perhaps you copy Cocaine Bear, make Cocaine Squirrel, and see the squirrel go crazy. Seeing close-ups of this squirrel attacking people could be pretty funny, and I think it would also be interesting to see it take inspiration from another Christmas movie in Home Alone, where what if this squirrel is made to be like Jerry from Tom and Jerry and set up traps for humans? Having this film played out as a comedy slasher film could be hilarious to see. This movie would be a lot of fun and could be the Cocaine Bear of Christmas movies. Next, we have Water Park Cow. Cows are docile creatures, but sometimes they too just want to break free and have a little fun, especially if they're destined for the slaughterhouse. In November 2021, a cow broke free from a cattle ranch 500 miles west of Rio de Janeiro and set off straight toward a water park. Once the cow arrived at the nearby resort, it made its way to the edge of a poolside water slide and then slid down into the pool below. What's more, even though the slide can only hold 450 pounds, it didn't give an inch under the adventurous cow's 700-pound body. When the cow's owner learned of the escape and subsequent water slide ride, he changed his mind about the slaughterhouse and said that the cow would become a family pet instead. Now I could see this one being more family-friendly and a similar style to Paddington, or maybe this cow decided to make the water park her own slaughterhouse and started attacking people. Either would be a pretty fun movie to see, where if you go to the Paddington route, it could actually be pretty emotional, where the owner decides to not kill the cow and instead make the cow a family pet, while the other would just be, how do I put it, insane. Unlike Christmas Squirrel, the cow would be able to have some crazy faraway shots where it just headbutts people and they go flying, which would be pretty crazy to see. I think either one would be a lot of fun. I feel like you can do a lot of pretty interesting things with a cow in a water park. I feel like you could do some Jaws scenes that are sort of a parody of the movie, where actually you see a cow instead of the shark fin. So that would be pretty funny. So I think this would actually be a really good one to see. Next up, we have cocaine hippos. Colombia plans to fly dozens of its cocaine hippos, the descendants of drug trafficker Pablo Escobar's private menagerie, to new homes in India and Mexico in a bid to control their booming population, according to the local governor. There are now between 130 and 160 of the hippos, according to the Colombian government, and they have spread far beyond Escobar's former ranch of Hacienda Nápoles, where they began as a population of just one male and three females. Now, this is a story that would need exaggeration similar to Water Park Cow and Cocaine Bear, where what if Cocaine Hippos is more than just a symbolic title in this film, where the reason that they have the Cocaine Hippo name is because they were owned by Pablo Escobar and were bought using the money that he made from drug trafficking. But what if instead, when transporting the hippos, perhaps they escape and cocaine is also being transported and they go crazy and start killing people in their new home countries? Now, the great thing of this one is you can do one film called Cocaine Hippos Mexico and another called Cocaine Hippos India, since they're being sent to two different locations. So if you want to make a franchise out of one of them, this is the one to do. Next, we have the Emu Wars. In 1932, the town of Campion, Western Australia, was the site of one of Australia's greatest and strangest military failures. As many as 20,000 emus had been feasting on the region's wheat crops, devastating farms, so the Royal Australian Artillery decided to put an end to the situation with 3 soldiers, machine guns, and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. However, the military quickly discovered they had underestimated the awkward-looking bird. The emus were good at quickly breaking into smaller groups, were so fast they were nearly impossible to hit with gunfire, and didn't seem to even care when they were hit by the bullets. The military also struggled with guns that jammed and vehicles that were unable to keep up with the emus, who can reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour. The war only lasted a week before the military gave up, and just 50 to 200 of the 20,000 emu forces were killed. Ultimately, the Australian military had to admit that they had lost. Luckily, there were no human casualties. But what if there were? In this story, send out more than 3 people. Send out a squad like The Hateful Eight or The Magnificent Seven, which are 2 films that are pretty fun. I recommend you all watch them. And send out a group like this to take them on and see the members of this team fall one by one at the hands of emus. Like the people of this village, to us, emus don't look that threatening, so even though they are, seeing them take out people in a movie would be pretty funny to see and could make for a great movie. I feel like this is a different take. It's not going to be one animal against people. It's going to be an army of animals against people, which is something that, we saw in the Planet of the Apes franchise, but that's more of a serious take on it. This would be a more comedic take, and this is actually very much based on a true story, so it would be a lot of fun to see. Lastly, we have a project based on Florida Man. Now, don't get this confused with the limited series coming out from Netflix called Florida Man, which is similar in some ways, but poses one man as doing a lot of crazy things, whereas my proposition is pretty different, especially considering the Netflix series is, as I mentioned, a limited series, so it has a limit to how many stories it can tell. Now, when I came up with the idea for this entire video, my first instinct was to look through Florida Man stories for great movie ideas until I realized how long this video would be if I went over all of them. So I realized, why not just make this a TV series where each episode deals with a different Florida Man news story? Whether it be people locked in a closet trying to survive for hours just to find out the closet was never locked, a woman saving a snake from a cat, or any of the countless alligator stories, this series could go on forever. This could either be played out as an anthology series where each episode is its own thing, or it could instead be a comedic version of Law & Order where the same detective is out on these outlandish Florida Man cases in every episode, and as this detective uncovers more about the story, we see flashbacks of what actually happened. This can either play out with a detective, or instead you can do something with a news reporter who is the one that breaks all of these news stories. I think this show could be a lot of fun and honestly could go on forever. There's so many stories coming out every single year that when I was doing the research and I searched up Florida Man stories, I was searching up most important Florida Man stories, most interesting Florida Man stories, and I couldn't find any articles on a list of just overall most interesting ones. I could only find lists saying most interesting Florida Man stories in 2022, most interesting in 2021, most interesting in 2019, 2020. They were just lists for individual years. That's how many of these stories there are. So literally every single year, the world is going to provide you, well, not the world, Florida is going to provide you with so many new episodes that you can tell, where I just think this would be great. This would be a great show. It would be a lot of fun. And considering how long the Florida Man meme has lasted, a TV show based off of it could last seasons if it brings in the right people. So the right people, Elizabeth Banks and Andy Samberg, if either one of you is interested in this TV show idea, please message me. And for everybody else, Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing these 5 ideas, and let me know which of these you would want to see or any other ideas you may have. Once again, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time on Big Flick Energy.